Hey everyone, and welcome back to Roadside Coder, and welcome to our second video of MERN Stack Tutorial Series. So in today's video we're gonna see what the hell is this thing called MERN or MERN Stack. So as far as full form goes, MERN means MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. Now what are all these technologies? Let's go on each of these one by one. So here's what a basic flow of a MERN stack application looks like. In our front end, we use React.js. For our back end, we use Node.js as our web server and Express.js as our web framework. And for our database, we use MongoDB, where all of our application's data is going to be stored. Now let's first move on towards React.js and understand what React.js is all about. So React.js is a front-end library built and maintained by Facebook. It has the feature of reusable component. Now what do I mean by reusable component? Let's find out. So here's the screenshot of Instagram. So Instagram, if you don't know, is also made by using React. So as you can see here, we have got tons of stories. So what do you think? When we need to render all of these stories on our web page, does someone create each and every one of them separately? No, obviously not. We create one of them and then reuse that component again and again and again. So this is what reusable component is all about. React.js makes it too easy to make components like this. So for example, if we see over here suggested for you column, we have created this one component and then we are rendering it again and again and again and again. So this is what reusable component is all about. So our next point is that it provides us with virtual DOM. Now what is virtual DOM? Now you might have heard about DOM before. JavaScript is used to manipulate our DOM if we want to change anything in our HTML file. So React.js provides us with this virtual DOM. Let's search what this virtual DOM is all about. Let's go on over here and search virtual DOM. And we have got React documentations. So the virtual DOM is a programming concept where an ideal or virtual representation of a UI is kept in memory and synced with real DOM. So what do you mean by that? So let's see over here. When I click on this tutorial button, what do you think will happen? Let's see. Did you notice that? The page did not refresh. This was because of the virtual DOM. Let me click it again. And the page did not refresh, it got changed in a blink of an eye. So this is what virtual DOM does. It keeps the UI components already pre-rendered in our memory. So it helps React make the website super fast. And hence our fourth point, it is super fast. Let's move on to our next technology. Node.js. Node.js is JavaScript runtime built on Chrome's V8 engine. It's basically a scalable web server. So what is the web server? Web server plays a role of managing our APIs, connecting our front end with our database. Basically, it is the heart and brain of our application. So Node.js provides us with something called Node Package Manager. Let's see what Node Package Manager is. So I'm gonna go to browser again and search npm or Node Package Manager. So here we are, npmjs.com. So what npm is, it contains all of the packages that are built with help of Node or JavaScript. So let's go on over here and search a package called Express. So Express is a web framework that we already mentioned. So as you can see, Express is hosted in npm's repository. And we can see the documentation as well and how you can install it and etc. etc. So this is the power of Node.js. It provides us with this huge library of packages called npm or Node Package Manager. And we can use it to develop real-time systems such as a chat application. It works super fast. Let's move on to our next technology stack, that is Express.js. We already saw what Express is. It's a Node.js framework. That's why it is hosted on npm. So Express.js helps us to build powerful routing APIs. Now what is API? we will understand in just a moment. So basically the API means application programming interface. Whenever front end requests something from the back end, API plays a role of carrying that information from back end to the front end. So the third point being that Express.js has a really good documentation. Let's go and have a look at the Express.js documentation. So I'm gonna go to Google and search Express.js. Let's go to its website and let's go to guide. And here you can see we have got this beautiful looking documentation. I mean, it's not, so for example, if you want to create an API, we just want to do a GET request and then pass a function. I know you won't be able to understand all of this right now, so don't worry. So in our next video, we are going to create our first web server and we are going to use all the power of Express.js in that video. So you can go through this documentation if you want. It's really helpful. Fourth point being is that it provides a super high performance. It's super scalable. Doesn't matter if your website has thousands of people or lakhs of people visiting, Express.js will not break. And it has many third-party plugins as well. Now let's move on to our last technology, that is MongoDB. So MongoDB is a cross-platform, NoSQL and document-oriented database. What do you mean by NoSQL? You might have heard of SQL databases such as MySQL, PostgreSQL. So it's completely opposite from that. SQL databases doesn't provide us that good of a performance, but MongoDB is super fast and super scalable. We're going to see the difference between NoSQL and SQL in just a moment. So this is a very important feature of MongoDB, is that it's always on. It's not hosted on your, let's say, on your server, because it has a completely different website called mongodb.com. So it's always on, it's always 24/7 maintained. So it's a really good feature of MongoDB. And as I already mentioned, it's highly scalable, it won't break. So one of the difference between SQL and NoSQL is that in SQL we create tables. So we have fixed row and columns, but that is not the case in NoSQL. In NoSQL, we have document-oriented database. So it goes on to scales. Doesn't matter how many information you throw into it, it's gonna scale according to that. And the fourth point is flexible schema. We can define schema for our data very easily. Let's go on to Chrome again, and I'm going to search SQL versus NoSQL. Let's go over here. And here we can see differences between SQL and NoSQL. So first, and the major difference being that I told you already, SQL has tables with fixed rows and columns, and NoSQL has document-based. So it contains JSON documents in key value pairs. So SQL was developed in 1970s, but the NoSQL was developed in late 2000s. So it's really advanced in nature. So I would encourage you to go on to read more about this. You're gonna learn a lot of things if you do. So here were our 4 technologies. Now let's see how these 4 technologies work and coordinate with each other. So here's the data flow diagram of our MERN Stack application. Now let's say our front-end application needs the list of nodes from our database. So what it does is it makes a GET request to this endpoint to our Express.js web framework. What Express.js does is it takes that API and interprets it and sends it to our web server. And what web server does is it uses a library called Mongoose. So Mongoose provides us a lot of helpful queries so we can fetch the data from MongoDB database. So it takes all of the nodes from the MongoDB database, and through our web server, it sends it to our web framework, and our web framework interprets it in form of a JSON data and sends it back to our React.js. Now you might be wondering, what is this GET? So there are 4 types of requests: GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE. So GET is usually used when we want to get something from our database and not to send anything to our database. And POST is mainly used when we want to send something to our database to store it into our database. PUT can be considered something as update. So if we want to update an already existing information in our database, we will use PUT. So as you can see over here, we are targeting a specific node by providing the ID. So it's going to find that node and then it's going to update it. And the fourth one is a no-brainer, that is delete. If we want to delete a node from our database, we hit this endpoint and we supply it with an ID. So it goes on and deletes that particular data. So these were all the 4 technologies that we use in MERN Stack. And here's how the MERN Stack data flow looks like. So in the next video, I'm going to set up a new web server with the help of Node and Express, and I'm going to create our first API. So stick for that and subscribe to the channel so you can access the playlist from the description and go on to watch all of the video as I upload them. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.